We are live for tonight's section. In tonight's section, we are going to be dealing with top 10 interview questions. In fact, top 10 difficult interview questions, both for advanced job interviews, both for entry-level job interviews. If you have been having challenges passing job interviews, this session tonight is for you. If you have been having challenges, I repeat, strong challenges, deep challenges, passing job interviews, stick around this night and master these 10 difficult job interview questions. I will be unleashing diverse ways to be able to effectively and efficiently answer these questions. I will not be dealing with the generic interview questions that most of us are aware of. Those ones are generic. Job in not really go into that, but different ways that they ask these questions. I'm not going to be handling the aspect of tell me about yourself. Tell us about yourself. I'm going to be handling that in a different light. That sometimes, most times you go for a job interview and you are, so that question, tell us about yourself. Can we meet you? Introduce yourself to us. You have prepared so much. You have excellently prepared to answer these questions. And boom, the interviewer takes a different route. And then you are caught off guard. Tonight, I'm going to be presenting to you different questions that we use to get the same information we are looking for as regards to those questions, those traditional questions, like why should we hire you? Like, why do you need this job? Like, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Questions like, what is your greatest weakness? What is your greatest strength? Those are traditionally asked interview questions. And most times we know, when we see it, we know that some persons have already prepared themselves for these traditionally asked job interview questions. Tonight, I'm not going to be focusing on those routes. I'm going to be giving you different routes that we recruiters use to get the same results. I'm going to be handling 10 difficult interview questions that when you are being presented to, you remember this night section. You remember this night session. Please, if you can hear me, if I'm very much audible enough, drop in the comment section. Let me know if you can hear me before I proceed to answering these top 10 difficult interview questions. Please, if you can hear me, drop in the comment section that you can hear me before we start up this journey tonight on these difficult interview questions. 10 difficult. Drop it in the comment section. Drop it in the chat box if you can hear me. Please, I need your replies. If you can hear me, let me know. Let me know that you can hear me. Just let me know if you can hear me. Please drop in the comment section. If I'm audible enough, let me know. Let me know if I'm audible enough. If you can hear me, just type I can hear you. All right. Thank you. Thank you. I'm seeing that. Thank you for that. Okay. That shows that yes, I'm very, very much audible. That shows that I'm very much audible. Okay. Now is time to roll. It's time to move up. This night I'm going to be dealing with 10 difficult job interview questions. Whether you are a newbie, whether you are an experienced person, you have attended series of interviews, this night is for you. This night is for you. But especially my main focus is to help fresh job seekers. My main focus is to help fresh job seekers to scale their interview, to ace any job interview they go for in one sitting. And tonight I want to say this, that in passing job interview is all about perception. It's all about perception. Is all about perception. Now let me say this. When you go to the market, is someone that convince you enough is the person you buy from. When you go to buy stuff, when you go to sign a deal, when you want to award it's all about perception. You feel that this person has convinced you enough that what you are buying is quality, that what you are buying will solve your problem, that what you are buying will attend to your need, that your pain point will be addressed. Pain point. Whenever you are releasing your money in getting something, that's in exchange of a particular pain you want that to address. The same way, when interviewers brings you to job interview, they want you to address their pain point. So they want you to convince them that you are the best candidate to address that particular pain point. When we place advert, we are saying we have a need. There is a need. There is a pain that we are experiencing. We need someone who is skillful enough, someone who is knowledgeable enough, someone who has the required capacity, one who has the required competencies in order to address that pain. So in dealing with that, you need to convince us, because you are not the only person saying you can do it. So in convincing us comes with your level of communication. Your level of communication is very important. It's not just about what you are saying, but the way you say it. I want to establish that this night. It's not just about what you answer, but the way you answer it. The enthusiasm behind your answer, the confidence level behind your answer, the body language behind your answer will convey to the recruiter, to the interviewer, to the employer that you have the required capacity, that you are the right candidate for that position. So it's not just you sitting, okay, tell us why you are the best candidate for this job, and you begin to look at, thank you, sir. I believe that I'm the best candidate because I have the required skills. I have skill in this area. I have skill. You'll be just no. When you answer question this way, you are automatically sending to the interviewer that you are not competent. You are not confident, because it is your level of confidence that will show that you are competent. Your level of confidence is what shows you are competent. So in answering these questions, as I'm going to be guiding us through on how to answer it, I want to establish a fact this night, that the way you answer it matters a lot. How you present it matters a lot. The tone of your voice, your facial expression, your body charisma, the posture, your body posture, how you see it, what your hand movement, your body movement, all these contribute in your interview communication. They all contribute in your job interview communication. And one of these days, I will be making a video on effective job interview communication. I will be making a video on that and teach job seekers how to effectively communicate in an interview in order to sell a positive impression to the interviewer. It's all about perception, like I said. It's all about impression. Who saw the best perception, the best impression, who wins the day. That is just the fact. The person with the best impression, the person with that wins the day. All right. Now, having established this, having laid down this foundation this night, having laid down this foundation this night, because it's very, very important that I lay this foundation so that persons don't go and cram these things, cram them and then communicate them ineffectively. Understand that your communication is very important. Not just what you are saying, but the way you say it. The energy to which you say it is also important. The body language is also important. So let's get down to business. I'm going to start this night with the first difficult interview question. It looks simple on the eyes, but is something very, very vital. Now, remember, most times or sometimes you will go for job interview and you have prepared to answer the question, tell us about yourself. Introduce yourself to us. Can we meet you? You have prepared on how to answer that. And boom, the recruiter, the interviewers drop it and now begin to ask you a question and ask you this question. In 3 ways, describe yourself. Describe yourself in 3 words. In 3 words, describe yourself. Or they ask you if your previous employer, or they ask you if your lecturer, or if your HOD, some persons, or if your LGI, or if your zonal inspector happens to describe you, what 3 words will he or she use to describe you? Either way, we might say, okay, describe yourself in 3 words. Or we ask you if your past employer has to describe you, what 3 words will he use to describe you? If your employer has to describe you in 3 words, what will those words be? If your lecturer has to describe you in 3 words, what will those words be? In other words, we want you to summarize yourself in just 3 words. And it is telling us one who have self-awareness, one who understands himself, who knows himself. In other words, you must have done what we call self-assessment. So instead of us asking you to tell us about yourself, introduce yourself to us, can we meet you? We take you unawares. We switch it from tell us about yourself to asking you describe yourself in 3 words. Or we put it in another way that says, if your past employer if he or she is to describe you, what 3 words will he use to describe you? Or if he is to describe you in 3 words, what will those words be? We ask you that question. So when we ask you that question, we have indirectly from a corner asked you the question, tell us about yourself. In other words, we have said, summarize your totality, whatsoever you be, in 3 words. So when dealing with that question, get this, when you are to deal with that question, don't just go and cook up any 3 words in your head. Of course, you are not supposed to even say 4 or 5 words. No, you are to, they say 3 words, stick to that 3. They say 3, stick to it. Now, having understood that, how do you choose your words? What are the words for you to choose? That is why tonight, I'm going to let you know, before you go for the interview, prepare for this. Prepare for 3 words that suit the organizational culture. In other words, your personality that suits their culture. If they have a culture of integrity, you choose one of the 3 words, integrity. If they have a culture of industrious, hardworking, and that, you choose another personality, hardworking. And then if this another, but please carve out a personality that will be difficult to test you on that interview. What I'm trying to say there, that's why I say this question looks simple, but we bring it up in order to put you in a cage. We want to put you in a personality of 3 words and use that aspect to test you, especially when you want to overdo it, when you want to blow it up. Now, integrity, you choose the word integrity. If the job, if the organizational culture, if the organizational core value is hinged on integrity, you choose that. You, if they are industrious and this hard working, I'm 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 still open to be corrected, but I have not come across any organization that frowns at people that are hardworking, that frowns at candidates that are hardworking. I have not. That is that every organization requires candidates that are hardworking. But when we talk about hardworking, it's not just only hardworking physically. There is what we call mental labor. So when we talk about hardworking, that includes mental labor, being mentally alert. So you use hardworking. Why? Because it will be difficult for them to test you on that interview. It will be difficult for them to test you on your rate of you being hardworking. How hardworking are you? And that it will be difficult. So when you are choosing 3 words, I recommend you choose the word integrity, hardworking. However, if you choose integrity, we might ask you a follow-up question. What is this? That follow-up question is this: will you can you lie for this organization? Will you lie for this company? Will you lie for this company? So as to test your level of integrity, or you might not be asked that question immediately. In most cases, you are not going to be asked that question immediately. In most cases, that question is being asked after 1, 2, 3 questions. Then they ask you that question. In other words, so as to take your mind off from what you have answered the first time. So if they ask you, will you lie for this company? And you now say, well, on certain occasion, if it's something that will promote the organization and it's not really something that is bad or so, I think I will. Then you have shoot yourself on the leg. That means you are not one with integrity. Then you have shown 2 sides of the coin. And from that time henceforth, you will not be trusted. So be careful. But I strongly recommend integrity. I strongly recommend hard work. So when we ask you, describe yourself in 3 words, choose personality, hard work, or integrity, then choose another aspect that has to deal with the job or the industry. That's why you understand the employer's language, study the job advert, study the job requirement, study the job specification, study about the industry, and then choose 3 words. I just opened our eyes this night to 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 a different way this question, tell us about yourself, can be asked. This one is even more difficult, more deadly. Why? Because when you bring out 3 personality, we want to put you inside a cage of 3 personality and test those personalities. So when we ask you this question, study about the job question that relates to the job, relates to the company's core value, company's culture, relate to the industry, and then relates to the job. Choose the that promotes you. fit for that job? That is number one question that we are to deal with this night. Describe yourself in 3 words. If your previous employer, if he or she happens to describe you in 3 words, what will those words be? Another way can be asked. Prepare for it. Now let's move to job interview question number 2. It's a difficult interview question. What is your greatest achievement? What is your greatest achievement? Or what can you say to be your greatest achievement? Among all the achievements you have gathered in life, which one can you say is your greatest achievement? Be very, very careful in answering this question. It looks simple, but be very careful in answering this question. How do I mean? When we ask you this question, what is your greatest achievement? Or in your journey of life, what can you consider to be your greatest achievement? If we ask you this question, be careful enough not to go down your school days. And when what I can consider to be my greatest achievement is during my second year in the university, I met 5 points. In my first semester or in my last semester or so, I met 5 during my years in the university, during my years in school. Be careful not to go so backward, not to move backward so much in talking about your greatest achievement. What that means is that after then, that means you haven't really done anything meaningful. You haven't even really done anything powerful. That your best is fully in your past, fully back in your past, that your best. After then, you haven't even beat that best. Be careful. Don't go so back in talking about your greatest achievement. Use recent events. Use recent events and talk about what your greatest achievement will be. Well, I can say my greatest achievement, let's say you are an entry person, you are a fresh graduate. Well, I can say that my greatest achievement, I can say, is during my NYSC years, where I happens to be a classroom teacher, where I happen to teach mathematics, and due to this challenge, due to the strategies, and due to the level of commitment and energy I invested on those students, I got 95% of them excelling wonderfully well in my subject. In fact, I received a commendation from the principal or from the person, from my boss or whatever. Just do something previously, especially for fresh graduates. You just finish your service year, or if you're on a job, you are working, you have finished, you have gotten a job, you work, you choose your previous job or something within that era. I remember being one of the things that I was so happy is that we beat the deadline and to deliver that project successfully, and that I can consider to be my greatest achievement. You choose something that is not really long gone. That is you consider to be your greatest achievement. Don't use something that don't use an achievement that you got 5 years ago, achievement of 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, 2 years, even 3 years ago. Is just something of recent, a year ago, 1 year past, 6 months. That is what you can use as your greatest achievement. When we ask you that, well, I appreciate this question. I can say I have series of achievements in my journey of life. However, I consider this my greatest achievement is in my past jobs. Well, appointed to lead a team to execute a certain project with a very limited a deadline, and we have to put in our energy, go the extra mile, work overtime, or be on it, and we deliver that project within the deadline, and we delivered it successfully. That I consider to be my greatest achievement. And as I remembered it, in fact I remembered how happy and how joyous I am on that very day that that project was passed and that project was delivered successfully. You place a scenario, make it enticing. Use the power of storytelling. You are a marketer. When you sit before an interviewer, you are marketing yourself. So one of the keys of marketing is storytelling. You present a story behind it, but be careful of the story you use. Don't just cook up a story on that particular time, and when we ask you question that relates to the story you talked about, you have even forgotten the story you told us. I remember being in an interview panel, and we asked a candidate this question. The guy plays very fantastic story, fantastic achievement, and we lay low. Another question, we draw back to that story. And the guy couldn't even remember the things he has said. And the answer doesn't even correlate with what he has said before. We just told him that you just lied to us in this interview. The story you told us and what you are just saying didn't correlate. You lied to us in this interview. That means that means we can't trust you. One of the things you need to do is to build the trust of the interviewers. And the guy instantly lost the job. So one of the things you need to understand when you are telling story, tell the real story, please. It's very important. That's job interview question number 2. Now let's move over to job interview question number 3. Job interview question number 3 is what interests you about this job? What interests you about this job? The interviewer asking this question wants to know whether you know anything about the job, whether you know the things that are involved in that job, to know your level of understanding about the job, and to know your skills, the level of skills you have about the job, and then to know your enthusiasm, your passion, your love for the job. Your enthusiasm, your love, your passion for the job. What interests you about this job? What interests you about this job? Now, when you are to answer this question, now I want to place a scenario. If you meet a lady you want to marry, and you approach the lady, and the lady asks you, what interests you in me? What interest do you have in me? What are the things that interest you in me? Why do you choose me among other girls around? Why do you choose? What do you think is the best approach to that? What interest? Or you went on a date with a lady, with a girl you are proposing marriage, or you are proposing a relationship, and she asks you this question: what are these things that it triggers your interest in me? You have to bring in scenarios, praise his attitude, his characters, and stuff. The same way. You are someone that is this because I have seen you, I have looked, I have studied you, I have watched you for long, and I have seen this, I have seen that, and those qualities, those stuffs, and that is what attracted me to it. Those are the same way. When the interviewer asks you this question, you need to follow that route. What interests you about this job? Well, this job is something I so much have passion for. It's something I so much love to do. It's something I so much that is of huge importance to me. In fact, as a young child growing up, it has always been my dream. It has always been my passion to be this, to be that, to be that. And I have researched about this company, and I have discovered that this company have a very strong values. This company has a very core value. This company has a very reputable place in the industry, and this will be a huge avenue for me to be able to fulfill my childhood dream. This is what interests me about this company, about this job. Having research about the company, I love their product, I love their service. This is something I'm so much passionate about, and this company being one of the top leaders in the industry. I so much want to be part of this success story. And this job is also something that I so much love. It's something I'm so passionate about. Why? Because every recruiter, every manager, every employer, we want to know whether you love what you are doing. He or she knows when you love what you do, you go the extra mile. So when you show that you are so passionate about the job, you so much love the job, it's something you love to do, and at the same time you love the organization. You have researched about them, you have understood their core values, the core value of hard work, the core value of inclusiveness, and all that. You put it there and then showcase it to them. That is how you answer that question, what interests you about this job? What interests you about this job? This is a job I love to do. In fact, as a young child growing up, it has always been my dream. It has always been my passion. It has always been it has always been my passion. It has always been my dream. It has always been something I love to do, to impart knowledge, to teach, and to educate people on tech skills. And I see that your organization is one of the leading tech institute in this country, and your core values and your culture aligns with mine, the culture of hard work and the culture of quality delivery. And that is why this job so much interests me. That's how you deal with that question. You show you have passion for it, and you show you know about the organization, and you love what they do. That is how you do it. So when we ask you that question, what interests you about this job? Follow this route. Put your answers within this context of what I just said now. That is how you deal with that question. What interests you about this job? Now let's move to question number 4. Let's move to question number 4. What are you passionate about? What are you passionate about? That's question number 4. This is another difficult interview question. Why? Why is it difficult? Because some persons will choose passion that is not even relevant to the job. Or some persons choose passion that we use to shoot them on the leg. We use to test them. Now, what are you passionate about? You don't just say I'm passionate. Some person, what are you passionate about? I remember being in an interview in Iwo, in Osun State, and we asked a young man, what are you passionate about? And the guy said, I'm so passionate about playing about football. And the guy was being sincere. How does football relate with what you are coming to do? So if we have something to do and there is football match, you might want to just do it half-assed, so you can go on about the football. Use a passion that best fits the job. Use the passion that fits the company. Use the passion that fits the industry. If you ask me this question, what are you passionate about? Well, thank you so much. I will strongly say that I'm so passionate about success. And because I'm so passionate about success, that always that always drive me to see that whatsoever I do in life, I succeed. And that's why if you check my track record, I have consistently succeed in every task, in every project that I, I supervise, I handle, I ventured into, and that's why that's why I can say that I'm so much passionate about success. I don't like anything called failure. Now, but be careful answering this question this way. Experienced recruiters, experienced interviewers, we want to dig, and we want to dig. Now, one of the ways we dig is this. After you said you are so passionate about success that you have had series of success stories in the past, based on the past project you have handled, that you have experienced so much success dealing with that, and that you have experienced success, and that's why you frown at anything failure. Success is something you are so passionate about. Having answered it this way, we will dig. Most times, especially experienced recruiters, for example, we might, because we know, now we have to see where we get that digging. We know that a higher percentage of graduates fall between 2 2, fall within 2 2. A higher percentage, research have shown that. I'm a data analyst, I have conducted that research. A higher percentage in the grading system falls within 2 2. And the least percentage falls within first class and fail, pass. The least is first class. Now, having known that, we will now ask you a question. What was your grade? What grade did you graduate with? You will see us having time, we say, well, that's fantastic. That's something encouraging. If I may ask, what grade did you graduate with? And if you are not an experienced job seeker, at that moment you might start fidgeting. Hey, I have to now. They might not. You say, what qualification did you graduate with? Well, I finished. If you have to, even if you have third class, well, I will say that I finished. I graduated with 2 2. I graduated with second class lower. Now we follow up a question. Okay, is well, based on certain circumstances that surrounds it, I can comfortably say that under certain circumstances is a success to me. Within my school days time, I have this challenge, I have these issues, I have these issues, I have to confront with this. Prepare for this. Prepare for the challenges during your school days. I am doing well on these circumstances surrounding it. I have these issues. I have this. One of the challenges I have then was that I was seriously sick to run my exams during my first semester exams in the university, and because of that sickness, I had a very low CGPA that I experienced very so much within my first semester in school, and then in my third year I have so this and that alone contributed in fact I will say that in my first semester I have series of carryovers due to that sickness and that, but I make sure that I graduated with my set. I didn't have to have extra year. I cleared my carryovers, and I made a CGP of 3 points, 3 points, which is a slightly lesser than the 2 1. And that will not delay the interviewer giving you the job. But it will delay when we see your composure going down, you have started to be fidgeting, your mouth starts shaking, and that is what you need to understand. Please get that. So when you tell us that you are so passionate about result-oriented individual, you are goal-oriented, and you are passionate about result. You ensure that whatever task is being given to you, you give a result. Choose passion. What are you passionate about? You choose, but choose passions that are related to the job industry and to the company. Every employer is selfish. They want to know how you will be beneficial to them, because they are going to give out their money. They are going to pay you. They are going to give you their resources. You are going to be under their care. So they want to know what's in first. So whatever you are saying, say things that interest them. So that is question number 4. What are you passionate about? That is how you handle that. Then we move to the next question. That is question number 5. What I can say, what are your pet peeves? What are your pet peeves? That's pet, P-E-T slash P-E-E-V-E-S, pet peeves. Now, yesterday I was in my yesterday's section, I said that you have the privilege to ask questions. In fact, that you need to, in a way, bring in to ask interviewers questions. That's number 1. And I said also, if you are asked a question you don't know the answer, ask the interviewer for clarity. This is one of the questions. When we ask you this question and you don't know the meaning, I bet most persons, I bet you, even you watching me, doesn't know the meaning of this question or this of the word pet peeves. If you don't know the meaning, don't go to say, well, I can't really, I don't know. No. Ask for clarity. Please, what do you mean by pet peeves? Can you explain that? I'm not sure I really know that word, pet peeves. Be free to say you are not sure you have really seen that word or no. No. Just tell him to explain. Please, can you clarify? Can you explain that term, pet peeve, so that I can understand it better? Having done that, you are telling us you are one who doesn't just jump into anything. You seek for clarification for what you don't know. That is what you are passing a message for us. If we delegate a task to you and you don't really understand that task, that you are one that will seek for clarification. So when we ask you a question that you don't really know the meaning, you ask for the meaning. Now, the pet peeves means something you dislike or something that irritates you. So when we ask you, what are your pet peeves? In other words, what are the things you dislike? What are the things that irritates you? Now, this is a very subtle question. It's a very subtle question. You don't begin to come and, I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't like that. The question is moving you towards exposing your negative side. What you don't like is in your negative side. So don't follow that route. Don't go and say, okay, well, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like when I did something wrong. Instead of correcting me, you are shouting on me and that, or I don't like somebody that is so authoritative. I don't like this. No. I have seen people answer some of these things in job interviews and was like, okay, you are showing me your negative side. You are telling us your negative side, your negative reaction. In other words, when a person like that comes, you are going to react in a very negative way. You will close up. So when we ask you this, what are your likes and dislikes? That's another way it can come. But this one we are focusing on. When we ask you what are your pet peeves? In other words, what are the things you dislike? What are the things that irritates you? So to deal with this question, you are going to let us know, well, I will not really say that I dislike certain things. I'm one that when I see something that at the moment didn't really go well with me, I call the individuals attention to it so that we can liaise and come to an understanding, because I believe in collaboration. I believe in one understanding each other. This is as a result of not really effectively communicating our goals, not really effectively communicating ourselves. So I ensure that at the moment when the thing doesn't go, I see my called individuals' attention to it, and we liaise and see the best possible approach moving forward. That is how you deal with this question. Don't begin to say the negative stuff, what you don't like. No. And don't say that, and at the same time, don't say that, well, I don't have dislike. No, we are human beings. But you have to, in a way, switch it. That is how you deal with that question. What are your pet peeves? What are the things you like? That is question, I think that's number 6, if I'm not mistaken. We have talked about describe yourself in 3 words. We have talked about what is your greatest achievement. That's number 2. Number 3 question we have dealt with this night is what interests you about this job. That's number 3. Number 4 we have dealt with is why do you want to work for us. That's number 4 question we have dealt with. Then number 5 we did with is what are you passionate about. That's number 5. Then number 6 I have dealt with this night is what are your pet peeves. Now moving forward to number 7 is a follow-up question. If you have not mastered how to answer this question, these are traditionally asked interview questions. Like I said this night, I wouldn't be focusing on dealing with those traditionally asked interview questions. Like, what is your greatest strength? If you want to understand what is your greatest strength, go and check up my videos. On one of my videos, I tagged tough interview questions. Check that video, watch it. You will discover how to answer this question. What is your greatest strength? I have made a video on that. Please check it up. Now, this question now is a follow-up question of the question is, how will your greatest strengths help you perform effectively in this job? Or how will your greatest strengths help you to increase your performance in this job? Or how will your greatest strength help you to perform excellently well in this job? These are different ways we can ask you the follow-up question. When we ask you what is your greatest strength, then after asking that question you have answered, we now ask you this follow-up question. How will your greatest strength help you perform effectively in this job? Now, the key to answering this question, this question might be an off-guard question to most job seekers, especially fresh job seekers. When this follow-up question comes, it might be an off-guard question. It might come as unexpected to most job seekers. So what do you do when this question is being asked? Remember, you have talked about your greatest strength. They have asked, you have answered. Now they are now going to we are asking you this question to know whether you understand how to utilize your strength, how to deploy your strength, how to use your strength in order to be successful in that position. That is why I said in my video that you need to use a strength that is highly related to the job, and at the same time a strength that will not be tested on that interview. So let's take for example, how will your greatest strength help you perform effectively on this job? I can say, if it's me, I will say that my greatest strength is I have the ability to work for hours without getting tired. And I've been asked, how will that help you? The way I feel, the way I believe My greatest strength will help me to perform effectively in this, or because every job, every task require the ability for one to stay on it and ensure that one successfully completes the task. And my greatest strength of working for hours without getting tired is a very strong tool which every person need in order to stay on a task, especially difficult task, deadline task, a challenging task that requires one to stay effectively on it until positive result is being gotten. I believe this will be a huge contributor to my success in this position. You does if your strength, like that's my strength, ability to work for hours without getting tired. I attended to my stuffs and that, and now I'm having this session tonight with us because of my passion to impact knowledge, because of my passion to teach, because of my passion to reach to a larger audience. If I do that physically alone, I'm reaching to the persons that have access to me. That's why anywhere you are, you join this session, join my live session, and get this knowledge. Why is that? Because of the passion to teach. But I will not go to that. I say one of my greatest strength is the ability to teach effectively. They will give me, okay, choose a particular topic you love and teach us that topic. I wouldn't want that. Even though I can teach, but I wouldn't want that because that is on that aspect. I might not do what they think is right. So that is how you answer that question. How will your greatest strength help you perform effectively on this job? That is how you deal with that question. That is question number 7. Now we move to question number 8. Because of our time, I will be going on fast. I will be moving fast in this. Question number 8. Who was your favorite boss and why? Who was your favorite boss and why? This is a question we tagged 2 in 1. It's a question we tagged 2 in 1 question. Who is your favorite boss? 1 question. And why? 2nd question. Now, don't say you don't have a favorite. Don't say you don't have a favorite boss. Don't say you don't have a favorite boss. I don't recommend that. I have seen persons recommend that. You said, well, I don't really have a favorite. I love it. No. You might like everybody, but among them there is one that is your favorite. So when we ask you a question, who is your favorite boss and why? Don't just say this person and this. No, say the person and choose the reason. And let the reason be something that is job related. No, my favorite boss is this because he's a man that is jovial, playful, that always have a listening ear to us, to our need, and that no. You are being selfish here. So because he's playful, because he's jovial, anytime you meet him for a need, he attend to it, which is good, yes. But if that is your definition of why you term someone favorite, but you are sending me a red flag. You are sending us a red flag. So don't make it the reason. Yes, that might be, but don't use it. So what do you do when you say this person is your favorite? You can say, well, Mr. So person I will consider him my favorite. Is someone that I so much appreciate. The reason being that he always give me feedback on my performance as regards to my job, and in fact have taught me virtually everything I know today about about marketing, and then give me access to challenging projects, give me access to challenging projects that have improved me tremendously to a person that I am today, that can comfortably execute projects and execute them successfully. That's why that's why I can comfortably, anytime, any day, refer to him as my favorite boss, because he has impacted in my life so much in a positive way. That is, that should be the why, because that why has a very relationship with the working environment. A boss wants someone that takes up challenging environment. A potential employers want someone who will be challenged by taking up task, someone who will be motivated by taking up task, someone who takes correction, someone that learns, someone that seek for feedback. So when you say, well, he always give me feedback on my performance, and also, in fact, the things I know about marketing today, the things I know about this, virtually all the things I know about this it was him that taught me virtually this. I know about this, those I know about that, and also he always gives me a challenging task which have improved me to be the person I am to be the person I am proud of today. That should be the why that person is your favorite boss. That should be the why that person is your favorite boss. That should be the why that person is your favorite boss. I established that. Use different stuffs that, but let it be anchored on these three areas I talked about now. The area of feedback to your performance, the area of training you that you have